first letter we found from Dad was July 24th, 1929. And then nothing for another 8 months until April the 4th. But here goes. Let's start. My dear R.L.V. Lindemann, since our acquaintance last night, I can't get over that there was some understanding that we should meet again. How so? But there was. You see, I was only the chauffeur, and I couldn't express myself the way I wanted to. How about Saturday night the 24th, about 8:30 p.m.? Oh yes, I'll be coming all alone, and in an old Ford, not as you imagining in a big boat. Or have you a steady? If so, I don't want to butt in. We could maybe go and take in a good show. If you love dancing and have a good chance to go on that date, you better turn me down, as I do not dance anymore. I didn't get much enjoyment out of it while I did see. Please don't introduce me to anyone as Mr. Simpson, as I am a jack of all trades and a master of none, and I sometimes sail under different flags. Now, I am not going to make this note full of all the dears and loves, as that is not my nature. Have just been in for a swim, and I'm sitting here nearly all wet, so don't mind the looks of the paper. If there should be anything you want to let me know about until then, send it this way. Mr. Herman Christensen, Tyler, Minnesota, Box 423. Till Saturday night, that will reach me before anyone gets a hold of it. And don't worry, one look at your letter and I'll know it. But this is getting tiresome for more than one party, so I guess I better stop. I'm hoping that I can explain myself Saturday night. I'm, as you know me, George Simpson, but go to please yourself first, as I am not knowing I am asking a great deal to go to please me. If you have a late to meet your sweetheart in the gate, I'll be there if you hear something growl. Imagine something prowl, and then you'll hear a howl. Beware. Good night. The next letter comes April the 4th, 1930, 8:30 p.m., Monday night, Tyler, Minnesota. Evening, stranger, Tiger Rose. Work overtime and to hit the bunk for a few hours sleep. But just now my thoughts are with my sweetheart. So I guess I'll spend a few minutes visiting with you. I'm sure glad we worked on our tractor yesterday, as we got some hard pulling today. Green flax and sweet clover, but that old Avery cracked right along and wouldn't stop for nothing. Can tell you a little news. Some of the fellas today told me that Mrs. Frody Jensen has a little baby. And him at the dance last night stepping out looks quite a little as though we might have rain tonight. Oh boy, if it does, I feel like throwing my alarm clock under the bed and let her ring. Oh gee, when I started I felt like writing a book, but now I'm so sleepy I can hardly see the lines on the paper. So good night, lovingly as ever, Herman. On April the 10th, 1930, Wednesday night, 9:45 p.m., Tyler, Minnesota. Dear friend Rose, shocked. Well, I didn't quite get heart failure. I got home tonight. I seen your letter. You see, I have a different job now, a good one too. Yes, I've been to the talkies at Lake Benton, but it was a poor show that night. Now, you see, if I live up to my word, I am awful careful. But just the same, I am going to be there Sunday night, trusting you. See, I'm tired tonight, and so I'll sign off now. Goodbye from your friend Herman. As usual, my word is good. If I don't come, I couldn't help it, you see? And then another letter, July the 7th, 1930, 6:15 a.m., Tyler. Good morning. Yes, indeed, Rosie, dear. Just was a-thinking. Please don't be disappointed if you don't get that job. You see, I wasn't supposed to tell you about it before they wanted you. I'll try to let you know Tuesday or Wednesday if I find out anything. In the meantime, if you find a different or a better job, well, be your own judge. Goodbye, as usual, with lots of love, Herman. Think of me when the golden sun is sinking and your mind from troubles free. While of others you are thinking, won't you sometimes think of me? ? And then another one, July the 10th, 1930, 10:15 p.m., Thursday night, Tyler, Minnesota. Dear Rosie, I just got home from Archie's and you got the job. Start next Sunday sometime. The other girl is leaving Sunday forenoon. Mrs. Newell was better today, so she should be up. I'll be down tomorrow night, and if you and Mother want to go out and see them. Good night and sweet dreams as ever, Herman. Now there are no more letters until August 18th, 1930, where he wrote a letter to her mother. It says, "Dear friend, maybe I won't see you for a while as I am having awfully busy, but there is something I would like to say. It seems to me that I have an advantage that others haven't when I come to see Rose. This is my guess, anyway, that you kind of keeping her from going out with others. Well, me, it's okay. God only knows I hope never to deceive her, and I have found her to be just so as good and honest and clean-minded girl as I have ever met. Rose has always been able to take care of herself when going along with me, so I'm sure she'll be able to do so with anybody else. I'm no angel, just as bad as anybody, I suppose, worse maybe. That's why I feel I don't deserve my advantage over anybody, and if it makes Rose happy to feel as though she is forced, if she cares for me, which I am sure she does, and I trust her anywhere, and she can be the judge if she wants to go with me or not. Please understand, Mrs. Lindemann, I don't say this because I am tired of Rosie's companionship. No, I love her more than any girl I ever known or ever will know. Only I don't deserve to have her waiting for me any time unless she's the one that decides to stay home and wait for me. Please let Rose read this, if you will. There's nothing of my doing that she shouldn't know. Goodbye. Hoping to be a friend as always, Herman Christensen, Box 483, Tyler, Minnesota. If I have been thinking wrong about this, think nothing of it. Thanks for all." The next letter is October the 10th, 1930, Oscope, Minnesota. Saturday morning, 8:30. Good morning, ma'am. Had a dandy trip, stopped at St. Peter and had a little lunch, but didn't see anything about Rosie. I stopped for 2 hours in Minneapolis and was at the main Sears Roebuck building. It sure was great. The old folks had never thought there was so nice a place, and large. Why, gee whiz, you can keep on walking till you don't know the way out. I sure regretted that I didn't urge you to go along, or simply just pick you up and taken you. Oh, gee, Rosie, you can't imagine how pretty. I found a new road, and yesterday was the prettiest day of the year. I had to change one tire while in the cities and killed a great big dog just as I came into Oscope right after dark. But it's so primitive-like here. I wish you were here, and besides 2 hours sleep the night before made it hard to keep awake. Wouldn't it have been easier if I had you to argue with? Oh, yeah. And now about your letter. I really think he may be a nice enough kid, but say, don't you think he puts a little too much hard luck stories in his letters to be real, just because he's found that is your soft spot and that you feel sorry for him? Oh, pardon me. I will tell you some more some other time. Verla is coming now. She's going to use the other side. Love, Herman. This is from Verla, his cousin. Dear Rose, how are you? I was going to write to you, but I'll be darned if I could remember your last name. Say, what have you been doing with Herman? He sure looks and acts happy. So lucky. He's been in dreamland all forenoon while he was writing. Herman came just in time last night to save me from an old nut that's chasing me. He's only 40. I wished you'd come along so we could have, whatever. Have been looking for a job but couldn't find any, so I decided to go to school. Have a keen man teacher. Boy, he's a keen dancer. There I knew he'd do a little sneak up and read it all. Your friend, Verla. Next one is October 30th from Oscope at 4:30 in the afternoon. Dear Rosie, dear, I just can't help it. I got to write to you and tell you. Oh, no, not about the pretty school, Marm. It's that time of the week when everything is a lazy hum, the flies especially. Verla and I are alone at the home, and the rest are gone but for a visit. But what's more, it's raining, and the kitchen is nice and cozy. I just went across the street and got a pint. No, not moonshine. Ice cream. That's what they call it here. Verla was to a dance last night and came home at, well, this morning. I was home in bed early at 10 p.m. A bunch of guys told me if I really wanted excitement, I should go to Rutledge, a little town along the pavement, about 8 miles. There was a public dance, and whiskey and wild women were plentiful. I thought it over, and I changed my mind. I went home to bed. I didn't like to go alone. Say, I sure wished you had been here this forenoon, more than ever. I was down to see the mysterious Kettle River. There are kettles there like suckboats and logs, and every time down that comes along. And beaver dams, rocky cliffs. It's the prettiest sight I've ever thought of seeing on a nice summer day. Like this forenoon, I promised Verla if we can. You and I are coming next summer to take pictures of it out here. There is a lonely pine standing on the rocks 150 feet high. The tree itself is 700 feet. And up those big rocks, it's a wonderful pine standing. And tomorrow morning, we're going to start for Sauk Rapids. Tuesday or Wednesday, we'll roll for home. Verla is studying her English. She is 6 weeks' work to make up, and by the looks of her, the next thing she's going to say will be, "Damn it." No, it wasn't. She just opened her mouth this wide, and then she yawned. Got your letter, and say that sure was a fine thing of you to get all excited when Verla brought home a letter for me. Well, goodbye. I guess I'll turn this over to the censor to see if she can find any mistakes. Goodbye as ever, Herman. October 29th, 1930, Wednesday afternoon. Dear Rosie, I got your letter yesterday, and oh dear me, it created an awful war. Yes, it's all right. I'll come some other night. Almost any time, you know, see? It's awful hard work, and I don't mean maybe. This picking corn is. Maybe after I get used to it, it'll be better. Yes, I wish you would write me another letter, or rather a few more while I'm here. But what about the future? If they should happen to read before I get them, just make them loving and sweet. I have got to hurry along now with Archie's home. We quit when it got snowing so bad here in Tyler. I'll be seeing you, if not sooner than later. Lovingly as ever, Herman. I'll drop them clippings in I was telling you about. And now November 4th, 1930, Tuesday night in Tyler. Got your letter tonight. It happened to come into town instead of where you sent it. Gotta hurry. Archie is waiting at the drugstore for me. If you write again, don't send it to Archie's because I'll be coming to town most of the nights anyway. A change in plans made that next week. I will be on another job, you see. If you can and want to, you can try to get your schoolwork done up by Saturday night, as I might have to make a trip Sunday, and your ticket is free, see? But please don't be disappointed. It's only a guess yet. I'll be seeing you before that. Goodbye. As always yours, Herman. November 18th, 1930, Tyler, Minnesota. Dear Rosie, funny, isn't it? How the world does treat a person with lots of good luck, and the next time you wish for it, you couldn't even begin to be lucky. I got home this morning and had a hard work night away. Sure had lots of fun, which I was gone somehow. I think it's fun to be a bum, although there's a lot of grief when you get to the last dollar and you don't know where to get another. But I'm not all that bad. I had a letter from Verla this morning, says she's lonesome and how. And by the way, I finally got that letter from Verna. Say, she's the berries. She says that life is all too short to be sore at anyone. Well, how in the dickens does she know I was sore at you? I could be disgusted and tired of everything without being sore, couldn't I? She says when I get ambitious, I can write to her. And I really appreciate her friendship, although I doubt if my ambition will ever get the best of me. So as to answer her letter, well, I was asked this morning by how much I wanted to make a trip to Chicago for Thanksgiving. I said $30. A couple here in Tyler wants to go and attend a wedding of their son there, but they don't know yet if they want to spend that or not. I kind of hope they go. Oh boy, won't I have fun, and how. Well, bye, Rosie dear, as once more than the good old days of romance are her lots of XXXXX. Herman. November the 30th, 1930, Sunday night. Dear Rosie, you must excuse me, Senorita, how familiar that may sound, but I mean it. I'll just take a little visit thus to the mail and then go to bed. I was going to go to sleep today, and Carl came and kept me awake. Doggone it. I heard quite a strange story today about me who went through the bug house in St. Peter, and I couldn't stand it. I'll tell you later. I don't know what's the matter with my eyes, but they feel awful funny, so I guess it wouldn't be a bad idea to stay inside tonight. I just got home from my milk route. It's 7:40 p.m. I was out by Archie's today, and I relived their curiosity. They wanted to know where I've been. Well, I told them as much as I thought was safe. Carl almost had a notion to go down tonight and see Verna, but then he got cold feet. Sure had fun today. I almost had a fit when Mother took hold of the fake matchbox I had it set on a plate so it made an awful rattle. Carl's hair started to raise straight up when he tried to find out how much home brew. Oh, gee. Say, Rosie, do you want to go to a certain entertainment, for instance, Tuesday night, be ready at 7:30 or so. If you wish to go, listen, Senorita, I have been invited to come to hear a Reverend V. Andreessen from Minneapolis and bring my girlfriend. The invitation comes from the people that I work for, and I would like to show them, and my folks too, that Rosie dear will go where I go. This fella is an artist, and he paints a picture as he talks. Tonight, the title of his talk is Money Walks and Money Talks. I'm not going to go before Tuesday night. If you want to go and can find the time, because I know you are very busy, you could let me know Tuesday noon by mail. Oh, all right, Senorita. Now please suit yourself. If you want to go, let me know. I might come down tomorrow night. I got to see how sleepy I am by then first. Good night. Yours as ever, before, Herman. January the 8th, 1931, at home. It's 1:30 Thursday. Dear Rosie, and did I get it? I should say I did this morning. Sorry I gave you such a hard job to do as to write a letter. That's easy for me. I always do it when I feel that way. Then I think it's a great way to get my thoughts away from their nearby world. Oh, gee, gosh, Rosie, I had an accident this morning. I fell asleep after it was time to get up, and I arrived about 20 minutes late in the morning. Well, the old maid Tilly thought I was sick or had an accident when visiting my sweetheart, and I wouldn't be able to come or something because she had 2 cows milked already when I came. Gee, she's particular, but can you blame her? 90% of them kind of short and queer. Oh, it looked good, like 2 bells. Well, I'll be sailing along over and see if the town is still there tonight. I kind of feel guilty about going to Ruthven for a while. I might see my old boss, Mr. M.B. Peterson. Oh, gee, guess, well, I'll go anyway. Goodbye, I'll see you later. Lots of love, Herman. And then he sent her a telegram. January the 9th, 1931, Western Union Telegram, long-distance telephone, Tyler, Minnesota. Miss Rose Lindemann, Lake Benton, Minnesota. We'll see you at the show tonight. Leave the rest to me, Herman. Period. Now, there's so many letters, but what I'd like to do is just take a few phrases and sentences from some of them because they're really funny. Like this one. I've been thinking so doggone hard it hurts me, and finally went and played some pool with a green country boy. And shucks, he beat me. That made me mad, so here I am still the same way. I just got a letter from Verna with an addressed envelope, so things begin to look a little better. Am I blue? Say, just listen to this. Called Discouraged. A young man ran for legislature of Illinois and was badly defeated. He entered business and failed. He engaged to a beautiful woman and she died. He was a candidate for Congress and was unsuccessful. He tried to get a federal office, but it failed. He became a candidate for vice president and again he was defeated. One failure after another, discouraging defeats, heartbreaking setbacks. And then he became President of the United States, and that was Abraham Lincoln. Now, I just happened to read this last night, but say, do you think it would do any good if I wrote a letter, ? One that might be read by the old folks if you let it kind of lay careless, somewhere in sight? Oh, gee, I don't know what to make of it. That's why I would like to know what you think. I can't see that it would have made any difference if you had gone to the dance on Friday night and I had come Saturday night. I suppose I would have gotten hell for it all. Glad we have one friend, and here we had planned on being her friend. Isn't that funny? Yours, Herman. And the next letter says, Dear Rose, I received your letter and say, did it cheer me up? I tell the world, you say it's going to be lonesome. Well, just imagine I'm a long ways off and liable to come home any time, which may come to pass anyway, the way things are going for me. Yes, can I follow your instructions? I sure can, and I will. But don't you think it would be advisable for me to stay away for a while first? I think so. So be good and live on hopes. I know that we could show the old folks that everything is KO with us, or okay. Let's sing like Al Jolson, that there is coming a brighter day. Well, we're having a visit from the preacher today, so I can't write him while I'm talking to you. Bye-bye, yours, Love, Herman. In another letter, he says, I won't forget last Friday night when you came out of the show and you looked up that row of cars in front of the theater. Just the same, you gave me a thrill, and I don't mean maybe. But the looks of the lines have already been written in your autograph book. I quite well know. I'm quite well known now at the Lake Benton School. Well, that doesn't worry me in the least. I should be proud now, shouldn't I? There was one very short letter, April the 5th. Soon time for church. The bell is ringing now, and Easter Sunday is quite a day at our church. How is my little wife-to-be? Has she a smile? And that's sweet enough to kiss at all times. Say, I got your letter last night and say, you don't know what I'm doing. Well, I'm on a farm, but guess I'm soon going to do something else. I'm getting tired of this place. You see, he's been in the meat market for 10 years, and now he went out farming, and he doesn't know how to drive horses or run machinery or anything, and he won't let me tell him how to do things. His horses are wild too, and he won't let me break them the way I want to. So I'm soon leaving this place before the Broncos kick my liver out. And now, my dear, I better toodle-too. It's church time and Papa and Mama are ready to go, so I can mail this before we go. Bye-bye, kid. Yours for future happiness, hubby-to-be, Herman. P.S. Will you let me know when I go and where I'm to go if I go? I think I'm staying here and work at the grave hauling. He offers me pretty good wages. Now, some of the endings in his letters are really sweet. And this one is an example. Sweet dreams, honey. See me in bed at 10 bells. I love you by the carload. As ever, Herman. And then there was another one. Bye-bye, sweetheart. Yours for always. XXX. P.S. I hope you got a good job. I'll be looking up that way June, if not before. And then, loads of love. Bye-bye, kid. From one who knows and thinks and cares. Good night, darling. Looking forward. I am. XXX Mush, Herman. And then he says, Papa and Mama are talking, and they say I should greet you in the well, not in Dane, of course. So bye-bye, kiddo, XXX, your hubby-to-be, loads of love, Herman. There was even a Valentines card, and it says, Valentine thoughts. I think of you a great big lot, whether it's Valentine's Day or not. Keep on wishing things for you every day the whole year through. Hey, what do you think, Senorita? So the last 3 letters I found were very short, starting in May 23rd, 1931, Saturday afternoon in Ruthton. Dearest babe, I'm out job hunting, so staying here at Ruthton for a while. If I can't get work here in my old neighborhood, I don't think I'll be able to get it anywheres. I got a couple of chances on road gangs if there's an opening before long. Outside of that, I'm okay. It's kind of fun to see old acquaintances again. We'll be writing again soon when I find out anything. Have you decided to move yet? I mean, change jobs. I told the folks last night about farming, and don't know just what they will say to it yet. Well, I'm going to say goodbye and be on my way. Yours for a hubby-to-be, Love, Herman, hoping to see you again before long. In July. Then May the 25th, 9 p.m. Dearest babe, well, no news is bad news, they say. I have found no work yet. I got your letter yesterday, and gee, sweetheart, I'm almost worried about my little babe going out stepping. So please be careful. You know what it will mean to us, you and me. Don't know what I'll do yet. Guess I just stick around in case there might come some work. I'm going to send this to Martina's box because I don't know your new address. I was out at August yesterday for dinner and helped Carl do chores. Had quite a talk with him last night. He might be quite a help to us someday when we make a start. And now, honey, I'm going to sign off. And please, sweetheart, make the best of it and take care of yourself. My letters are not short because I don't want to write to you, but I just can't get my mind together. I've got to find some work some way. So bye-bye, babe, dear. Yours, Herman. You have all the love I can give. Kiss, 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 mush. And the last letter we found was May the 27th, 1931, 8 p.m. Wednesday. Dearest babe, now just where are you keeping yourself, or are you still at the same place? Mama was to a prayer meeting last night, and Mrs. Brigger was sure she had seen and talked to you last Sunday at the Baptist church. So that's that. But I say no, it can't be. I have found no work yet. Einar and myself are going to Laverne this afternoon to see about some. If we do get that, I'm starting out for Winthrop tomorrow or tonight. And if there is nothing there, you might see my whiskered face before long. But gee, sweetheart, I hope I can find work, though, because otherwise our bankroll is going to give out all too quick. And now, honey, I will say a sweet goodbye and hope for the best. We'll be looking for a letter soon, so I know where you are. Bye-bye, kid. I am all yours, Herman. May the 4th, 1931. Sunday afternoon. Dearest pal, here I am. Where is my little wife-to-be just now? I'm all alone. Was out working this forenoon, so I just got cleaned up and shaved. Only shave once a week now when my wife isn't around. Ha ha ha. Same though. I don't feel like looking like a tramp, because I know you don't like it that way, do you, huh? Well, the pen is going to be pretty good. The only thing about it is I don't like is that you spend too much of your hard-earned money on me, you see? You know how it is, don't you? Huh? Well, I guess I have to stop for a while and see if I don't get some company. We'll finish later in the evening and tell you all that happened. Bye-bye, sweetheart. Well, here I am again. It's now 12 o'clock, midnight. And gee, I wish I had been in bed long time ago. I went to see Carl at home this afternoon and helped him with the chores. And then we went out to see Verna, and from there we took a show in at Lake Benton. It's the first show I've spent any money on since we went, but I just thought it was my birthday and I had to celebrate. Gee, sweetheart, how I wish you were here now, or just closer, so I could come and see you. We wouldn't need to go to shows all the time to make time go, would we, huh? No, gee, darling, I've been thinking a great deal lately about something I want to tell you. When I come up and see you, it might mean that when my next birthday comes around, you will be my cook, cashier, and secretary, etc., etc., you see? But don't worry, sweetheart, I want to discuss it with you before I do anything. Good night. Dearest love, Herman. Now remember, they get married in June of 1931. This letter was written in April. It says, just finished my supper, dearest pal, and I read your letter first thing when I got home, the one you wrote Wednesday night. So my little wife-to-be has saved up $4 bills. Well, I just got to get out of my $35 debt before I save up anything. But it's been helping right along. Got my wages raised a little bit, and then I got to pay 40 cents for my dinner every day, so that don't make so much difference. So the boys and your dad are up to the wilderness camp. Well, it's funny they didn't come up and see me, or write and tell me that they started work. Well, I suppose they were leaving in a hurry, but just the same, I'm glad I didn't get along. I'll tell you something, and don't worry, honey, everything is all right, only I've been thinking, gee gosh, kid, but I sure hit a hard job. It makes a feller dog tired. Well, but just the same, I'm sticking it out as long as I have work. Something I'm going to have to take a vacation someday, and then it'll be nice to have my hard-earned cash. Gravel is pretty hard stuff to work in, and my cat is pretty well wore out. Now, honey dear, I'm going to sign off and call it enough for this time. Might go down to H.P. Nelson and see Walt if I get any spare time. Bye-bye, sweetheart. Your hubby-to-be, and happy we will be, Herman. We do know that they eloped June the 28th, 1931 to St. Peter, Minnesota. where Mom's Aunt Rose's husband, the Reverend Charlie Baxter, married them. And their daughter Wilma and brother James Baxter played the organ and acted as flower girls with the wild flowers from the garden. Mom's brother Walter was the best man, and brother Art was there too. When they arrived back in Tyler, Dad's parents, Anna, Christine, and Anton, greeted them with, "Hello, Mr. and Mrs. Herman Christensen." And Mom said, "How did they know?" Dad said, well, he had to take them to Arco to get his marriage license, and they also helped him buy his suit. Mom bought her dress from the S&L for a little over $3, and it has been preserved. It's in a plastic bag that you can see through, and I remember my brothers both trying it on when they were young. The letters, too, are saved among the 7,000 pages of the family legacy. 90 years ago, they met and fell in love. She was 16 when she met him, and he was 22. They married 3 years later, and that love lasted for 61 years between Herman Christensen, who wrote the letters, to the love of his life, Rose Lilly Violet Lindemann.